got to the lake I want to base out of, and I've just been scouting for a campsite. I want to camp as close as I can to my objective, which is right over here. Oh yeah, there it is. I want to be able to, if you can see this, go right up about here tomorrow morning for sunrise. That's gonna, I don't know, maybe that's gonna be able to get me 200, 300, 400 feet above, as far as I can go, probably before it gets sketchy. About right there, 200, 300, 400 feet above the lake, looking straight down at powder sugared snow peaks behind it. It just looks like a perfect location. I saw it on Google Maps and did some checking on the slope angle, and it's not too steep. I think it's probably 35, 40 degrees max. It's a relatively easy ascent to be able to get up for sunrise, to get alpenglow and golden hour light on those peaks. I'm really excited about this campsite. It's gonna work perfect for my purposes. The only downside is it's a little bit of a distance from the water, from the actual lake, but that's all right. I'll just have to do a little bit of a water carry. And then check this out. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is where the magic is. The lake stretches north-northwest, and then I am gonna aim to be up there to shoot sunrise. So I'll be looking right down the lake, and first light will strike these peaks perfectly and getting onto the glacier there and some of the snow, fresh snow up there. Ah, it's lovely. I'm gonna go get my pack and go get camp set up. I found a composition I'm pretty pleased with. It's including this shrub here that I saw yesterday. Easily the brightest bit of fall color on this whole slope. And it's at the right elevation, I think. It's at that sweet spot where we get a nice perspective on the lake, but we're not getting too high up the slope and losing the scale of the mountains. I'm including this shrub because it's interesting. Maybe for no other reason than that it's interesting. It has a really nice orangish yellow, deep fall feel and provides a nice anchor to the other fall feel we have in this image, which is a dusting of snow on the high peaks. The elephant in the room this morning is we're all clouded in. I actually don't think we're going to get any direct sunlight, and that's okay. I'm really liking this scene as a blue hour-ish type scene where we do have that blue cast. It'd be interesting with color on it too, but this is great. This has really got a nice feel. I popped out of the tent last night briefly and the stars were amazing, and I ended up getting my camera out and shooting a few images of my tent just for fun, just for kicks, for memory's sake. And it made me realize I kind of want to do some astrophotography here. Let me show you the scene. This is it. You got a pop of foliage popping up here, and look at the color contrast here between this bright between the orange and then the general bluish cast over the rest of the scene. It's just interesting. I think it creates this feeling of, well, fall, but just of a color complement naturally. This is just the colors that we're presented with right now. It was a trick to find the right height for the tripod, as to not allow too much rock slope in here. I wanted to leave a little bit of breathing room along the shoreline. I didn't want this to crowd that shoreline, but I also didn't want too much space there to create too much purposeless negative space. And then, of course, we got the lake and the mountains. That's pretty straightforward. I'm going to stick it out and see if any light comes through. I highly doubt it, because these are fairly low clouds. Yep, right there. Whoa. Holy crap. We got some light. Glacier Peak. Where's that coming from? What? That's bonkers. I spoke too soon. Classic, classic, classic. All right, we got to get this. Oh my gosh. Wow. They're just getting skimmed. I wish I could show you, but I can't move. This may be so fleeting. I'm sure it is fleeting. Oh my gosh. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I have no idea. It seems like it's going to be over in a split second, because, that's the Sunrise Glacier is doing its thing, man. It's getting the sunrise. The light's already dropping. It's moving through a tiny gap in the clouds, and now the sun is rising slowly above that gap. And we can start to see the light drop from the tops of the peaks already. You're just gonna have to trust me that this is happening. I'll show you the image, of course, here in a minute. I'll be able to check on the GoPro, I guess, but it felt like that was maybe 2 minutes. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. I can't believe I was here for that. That was amazing. Found some shelter from the wind. My goodness, it is raging. Look at the clouds just on the peak. Look at how fast they're moving. It's like this wind tunnel right down this gully. I decided to come up. There was an unnamed lake just above me, about 900 feet above me, that I wanted to check out. So I went up this side couloir type thing.
It ended up being a massive boulder field with boulders the size of cars and small houses, like a tiny house. And it was tedious. It was really a lot more tedious than I thought it would be. The lake was pretty though. The lake was really nice. But I also wanted to see what the view was from the ridge up here, you know, 1,000 feet above the lake. And I was thinking about packing all my stuff up here. I was like, oh, what if I want to stay up there for sunset? And I just didn't feel like I wanted to carry a big pack to that boulder field. And that was the right decision. It was a lot more tedious than I thought it would be. And ultimately the shot didn't really look like it would work. There's too many boulders and trees that you can't get below or in front of because it's so cliffy that obscure the view. Where I am is definitely best, and that's where I'm gonna keep shooting. I did have a casualty on the way up though. I don't mean to show you too much skin here, but check this out. It ripped on a boulder as I was walking past it, which adds to my, you know, ripped up collection. This got ripped a couple of years ago when I was shimmying through some limestone slot canyons on top of a mountain in Virginia. So cool. But the abrasions of the limestone just put all sorts of little tears in this, and now it's all ripped up. And my wife, Linz, is so embarrassed about this thing. I had to make an agreement with my wife that I don't wear this out in public anymore because, you know, it is so shredded. But I love it. I still love it so much. It's my favorite mid layer. Just when I was in the market to replace it, it was discontinued, which is such a shame. So I'm gonna wear this thing until it disappears from my closet mysteriously, i.e. my wife discards it. I don't know what I'm gonna do about my pants. They're pretty shredded. Wow. Well, it's cool. It's a nice little side trip up here. I'm gonna head back to camp and lick my wounds. Setting up my tripod and putting my camera on it marks the end of my experience with what I'm doing. I am a complete amateur when it comes to astrophotography. I've done it a few times just incidentally because I've been out and just it made sense, but regardless, there's stars everywhere. So my basis for astrophotography tonight is not based on where the stars and best composition for like the galactic core are either coming straight up or arcing or whatever. It's none of that business. It's simply the lake and mountains and whatever stars incidentally are there. That's it. I just wanted to be out amongst the stars, and the only logical thing I could come up with is working this composition of the lake and the mountains with the stars above it. So we'll see what happens. This is a big experiment. All right. God, this lighting is so bad. I'm so sorry. Maybe that's better. All right. It's about an hour, a little over an hour later now, and I'm on my fourth 20-minute exposure, 21-minute exposure, and I think that's gonna be my last to complete the star trails, and I'll composite those 4 exposures together to create a complete star trail kind of look. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. This is my first go, but it has been such a blast. I've just lost myself in watching the stars over the last hour. I saw 3 shooting stars. Lots of planes, seems to be a direct flight path to Missoula or something like that. Whether or not this image turns out at all, I will show it to you. All right, here's the image. Well, I returned to the scene of the crime, and that is the place I've been shooting for the last 48 hours. Just can't get enough of the view up here. And this is why I came up here, is for this view. And why not spend the final morning here? It was really cool to see the alpenglow this morning and the twilight wedge set with the Earth's shadow just setting behind the horizon of the mountains. That was amazing. I think that's it for the light. It was golden for about 15 minutes. Here's the peaks now. So there must be some clouds on the eastern horizon that just snuffed out the sun. While I was filming a time lapse on the GoPro this morning, I was working a shot, the same little bush that I was at yesterday morning. The only really piece of gold here, you can see it right over my shoulder probably, yeah, right there. I was kind of experimenting with shooting through the golden medallions. I did a similar shot last fall that I really liked, and thought I'd kind of try to replicate the idea of that with that shrub to give more depth and interest of looking through the golden medallions of the leaves into the first light on the peaks. I don't know if it worked. It was really, really tricky. I didn't feel like I ever had a perfect portal. There's always some leaf jutting into the lake or one of the peaks, it seemed, but we'll see. I took a ton of shots and the wind kept moving stuff, so sometimes the leaf would be into the lake and then a little wind would come and it would move right out, and I just kept shooting through all of that. So there may be a shot in there in which nothing is obscured that I don't want to be obscured. It was really fun to work with the same subject and try something different than yesterday morning, a little different flavor of image. I got a couple more trips left this fall before it's all over, before all the leaves have fallen and all the snow has blanketed the earth. This has been an amazing, amazing fall. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.